back with the teacher. So, like some of our kids may not turn in their homework on Friday and get an extra couple of days to do it if that means that it's because we're supporting the second language for parents at home. Was there a question? And part of that as well, you will start to see that teachers will catch on to the things that parents struggle with and will start to adjust their homework in advance. So I'd have a parent tell me, I used to have to highlight all of the math words and now they just come in bold and they come already in both languages and I don't need the extra day on my homework because the teachers get to know their families and their parents and know how they can best support them. And then starting homework clubs. So we also have an after-school program, but there's groups of kids who are in the bilingual program who have Spanish homework and groups who don't. And our after-school program was gracious enough to adjust their whole system for the needs of our students. And so for the first hour, the kids that are in the bilingual classroom come together, some of them across grade levels, so it might be K2 and then 3-5, so that they can get support from those who can help them. Parents are invited to come at that time if they want to do the homework with their kids, but still leave the kids in the after-school program. And then after the first hour, they also get to choose fun activities to do, and then they go off and back to their grade level groups. But that's been a really big help for our parents, is those homework clubs. And then parent homework helpline. So a lot of our teachers do orientation at the beginning of the year and they ask parents who would like to connect with other parents and just take a list of an email, and so they'll start a thread. I've had parents who started a Facebook page for their class, different kinds of social media outlets where you can post a question and say hey, everybody in Miss Mendoza's class, did you get the homework on page 3? Is anyone else struggling with this? How did you solve it? Can somebody translate this for me? And parents, without the help of the teacher, can go through and just support each other because all the classrooms have parents of different varied language levels in terms of the new language that they're learning. And so they connect that way. And a lot of times it's much faster response than emailing the teacher at 8:30 and then waiting for that response the next day. It's also helped our teachers be a lot more supportive of the parents because they realize that they take the initiative and it's not all on their shoulders. There's different ways. You can do a phone tree where you all can call each other, and I've had parents who put I can read, write, and speak in Spanish, or I only speak it, or I only, my writing is average, and so then parents know who can I call to see. Or the same thing via email. Start an email thread, put everybody on there, this week's homework, who can help me. And again, previewing the homework on the weekend, that goes with the highlighting, so just getting it a little bit in advance to be able to pinpoint what you are going to struggle with before your child sees it. Are there questions yet? Okay, we'll wait. Okay, and then something that always comes up as well is reading with my child in another language. How, I can do the homework part, that's 1 or 2 questions. What if I want to sit and actually read an entire book, which sometimes is a lot more important than just a couple of pages of homework. So these are a couple of steps that I've done workshops with parents on how to help them. And so always, again, choosing a book of interest, something that your kids are going to be engaged in, because it might take a little bit longer to get through if you all are struggling with the 2 languages. So you want to make sure that they're going to stay focused throughout the duration of the book. And then before you start making predictions about what will happen in the book, and you can make the prediction in English and ask your child to make their own prediction in Spanish and maybe even draw it on a piece of paper and cover it up so you might guess what that prediction will be to make it kind of a game, or seeing if you have the same prediction and matching those words. So we both think that there's going to be a surprise at the end of the story. Let's write that down, surprise, sorpresa, got it. We're on the same page. And then doing a picture walk. Reading is not just about reading the words on the paper. Right now at our school, we realize that our kids are incredible decoders. They can read anything on a wall, any newspaper, but they cannot tell us what they read. And so right now our big push is a retell. Are you understanding the words on the page? And it's the same thing with your kids. Let them tell the story through a picture walk. So they're going to look at the pictures. If it's a chapter book, they might read a couple of pages and then stop and share with you. Even though you can't read along with them, they can share with you what they read into English. And so now they're doing the translation for themselves and helping you understand what's happening in the story. And you might tell them, we're just going to do it every couple of pages so that you can keep along with the book. You might get the book as well, the same book in English and Spanish, and read along with your child so you can have deeper conversations about it. But don't feel that you need to be able to read at the same level in Spanish as your child in order to elicit enough comprehension strategies out of them. And then step 5 was for students who already know how to read in the second language. Remember, we're targeting K2, so I think that's the same as your school. So some of our kids were not readers yet when we started doing this strategy at home. And ask your child to read the book while you check for understanding in the primary language. So they might read a whole book in Spanish, and then at the end you can ask them, like, what did you understand, and have them tell you again. And then writing like small reports together. So you might do I put a couple of different things on there: a comic strip, a storyboard, an accordion book. So being able to even like visualize it and putting it out into sequence, and then tell you once in English, once in Spanish, and then in English again, and then challenging you to retell it in Spanish. And then we have parents who this is not enough, and they want to also gain enough Spanish so that they're not struggling. Their kids are going to be bilingual learners for the rest of their lives, and they want a little bit more support. We have found a lot of promise with Rosetta Stone. You see the commercials. We actually started it because we had students who were coming into middle school. My school goes until 8th grade, and who were coming from other countries and didn't speak any English and being in English-only classrooms, and there was an extreme need to help them catch up with their English. So we bought a couple of Rosetta Stones for these kids and saw the results really quickly, and so then decided to do the same thing in Spanish for our students who were coming into the bilingual program a little bit later and had missed kindergarten and first grade worth of bilingual instruction. And so we had them try, it was 30 minutes, 60 minutes a week, so it was an hour, 30 minutes twice a week for some kids on Rosetta Stone in Spanish, and then realized that parents would really benefit from this. And so we got a couple of subscriptions for parents who were interested who came and have also been doing it. Most of our subscriptions are for parents who want to learn English. And then we have a couple who are now starting with Spanish. And it's been really productive because a lot of it, while we talk about conversation, is just some key words and phrases that their kids know that they have trouble remembering, and this program gives them an opportunity to get there. Schools can purchase it on a different fee than a regular one, so but you buy like in bulk, and so it's a little bit cheaper. So that's just an idea, but if you want to learn at home, continue to do. I don't recommend it for kids under 2nd grade. There's a writing portion to it, and a typing, and some of the reading is like out of context, but I think 2nd grade and up students can also use it at home. And then another big thing that we do first day of kindergarten is we provide our parents with labels of common things in a household, and have parents label their house with both English and Spanish so that parents and kids can learn the language together. And we find that parents actually end up learning more Spanish at the beginning than the kids, since they're better readers than the kids, especially in kindergarten, 1st grade. And they start using that, and so then they'll come to school and say, like, I learned 30 words this week around my house. And I'll be like, great, now try taking them off and see if you can still remember the name of that word. And play, like, word hunts with your kids. Give them the cards and have them run around the house and label things and see if they can get it, and then you try it. Things like that. A couple of our parents have started book clubs in the 2nd language. So this is particularly our English-only parents who really want to keep up to speed with our kids who are now bringing home books in Spanish. And so they are reading like 2nd, 3rd grade readers. We have Junie B. Jones, which is a good chapter, like easy chapter book. We have them in English, and they're quick reads, so the parents can read them like pretty quickly, but then when they get them in Spanish, it takes them a little bit longer. So we have that happening. We do have a parent center at our school, so the parents kind of decide what days of the week they want to meet. They want to talk about the group, and then our parent coordinator checks in with them. I check in with them. We give them, like awards for kind of completing this task, because it is a lot more work, but just more ideas on how to build your own language. And then practicing Spanish activities together. So I've given you 2 links to websites that you can click, and there's a variety of activities, games, sorts, and I'll give you a whole other list. So other games to build language skills. There's a link directly for rhyming games. Rhyming is such a great way to build the language skill in any language, and it will transfer. So if you want to print out these activities in English and in Spanish and play in English with them, you'll see that once they do it in Spanish, it transfers. An I Spy game, and it has I Spy you can play like in the car, different places, but it gives you some more structured ideas for how to do it in Spanish, some directions. The same with bingo. There's a memory game, and if you see the picture of the plate, matching pin games, those are really easy to make, and you can use them with almost anything. So you might find that this might be good resources for something other than language. You might use it for science or math. But basically, like on that pie, they have different numbers, and then the pin has the actual number and the kids match. So you might put pictures or words in Spanish on the plate and the same word in English, and then match them up. And you can have your kids check it for you. You can put a picture on the back so that it's self-correcting. You can do this on plates. You can do it on strips of ribbon, different ideas. And so if you're on Pinterest, there's a couple of websites on there. And the other resource was that multilingualchildren.org that I was telling you about. So I put that website on there, and it has a lot of resources and information about raising bilingual kids and questions that come up. And I think it's a really good resource for parents. And then the other one is SpanishPlayground.net. We'll also have other just activities that you can print and do across different grade levels. And that's it.